In this video, we're going to talk about the consequences of not responding appropriately to a demand letter from a debt collector and also not responding to a court summons. Now, a lot of you have probably received, if you're on my channel, you're in this algorithm, you are receiving debt collection letters or you are being sued by a debt collector. And if you don't do something about it, there are extreme consequences, especially in the times that we're living in now with our court system. And if you do not do the right things with responding back to these debt collectors, either with debt validation letters or if you're being sued in court, the consequences are extreme. What I have here in my hands, I want to show you this because when I say this stuff, a lot of people, for some reason, they don't believe me when I say this. This is a default judgment that an individual got, and it says here, important notice, please read carefully. Failure to comply with this information subpoena may result in your arrest and mandatory appearance before a judge of the Superior Court in accordance with Rule 67-2G. So what I have right here in my hands is an individual came to us and he said, I got a default judgment, and the debt collector froze the debt collector took the money out of his account. My apologies. The debt collector took the money out of his account. He said he was driving, got an alert from his bank, and it said that the money was being withdrawn from his account. And I said, okay. And when I hear this, a lot of people will say, I never knew anything about it. I didn't know that how this could happen. I was no part of it. I am totally oblivious to this whole situation. And I would, calmly tell them, hey, a whole bunch of things had to happen for this thing to happen to you, for them to be able to take money out of your account. Number one, they had to have sent you a debt demand letter. If the debt collector purchased the debt, or even if it's the original creditor, a demand letter is required by law. And a lot of people say, well, I didn't get that letter. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But I can tell you this, that there's a lot of people on making videos right now and over the years that said, just disregard those letters. Don't worry about them. Nothing's going to happen. If you respond to them, you're acknowledging the debt. That is totally inaccurate information. That is a misconception that a lot of people are telling people, but that is not true. A lot of the stuff that happens, the end results of allowing debt collection companies to garnish your wages, to garnish your bank account, to take personal assets, started with that initial demand letter that they sent. And don't worry, I'm going to tell you how you can respond appropriately to that letter, but let's get through the consequences, because I don't think that most of you will take action unless you deeply understand what can really happen to you. Not might happen. This stuff is happening, and it's happening even more. So I just showed you from the default judgment that they stated if you don't come in for this debtor's examination, that this may result in a warrant for your arrest and a mandatory appearance in front of a judge to answer to the debt. No, you cannot be arrested because of the debt, but you can be arrested for not coming and answering this thing here, this questionnaire, for either going in or you answer it and you have a period of time to get it to the debt collector. They want to know your situation. Now, most people don't want to answer that because they don't want to let them know about their finances. They don't want to let them know about their job. They don't want to let them know all of that stuff. So it's like you're stuck between what I should do and what I shouldn't do. And it's mainly because you don't want to let them disrupt your lifestyle. You don't want to let them disrupt what you have. You don't want to let them know what you have to lose. Like, that's the bottom line of it. But you have a lot to lose by not responding to this stuff appropriately. So number one, if you get a demand letter from a debt collector, you need to respond to it appropriately. Some people say, well, Steve, I've responded and they don't even do anything. They don't even respond back. That's because you're not responding to that letter appropriately. If you don't do it the right way, they don't have to respond to it. If you don't do it the right way, they don't have to respond to it. That's logic. That's logical. Why wouldn't they respond? Why would they put themselves on the line with their debt collection license, with violation of the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act? Why would they put all of that on the line and you sent them a letter and they didn't respond? Because they don't have to respond if you don't do it the right way. So that's number one. Respond to debt collection letters the right way. If you do it the right way, they're going to have to respond. Now, just because they respond, does that mean that they won't take it to the next step to sue you in court? Absolutely not. That's just that they're responding. So now, if they take you to court, what is the next thing that you got to do? A lot of people will just disregard it. As a matter of fact, this person here disregarded the debt collection court summons that was sent to him years ago. So he ended up with a default judgment. The resulting for that default judgment is that the debt collector was able to go and get a judgment on a judgment garnishment on this individual's bank account, and they took the money out of the bank account, and they still have that hold on that account because they're going to wait until more money is deposited so they can get the rest of the money, because it wasn't enough in there to satisfy the judgment. Now, this is stuff that they're able to do. And I've also talked about this where if you get garnished of your paycheck, they're going to take it out of every paycheck. It's not going to be like a monthly payment that you were used to when you were paying that creditor. They're going to take that money out of every paycheck until it's done. And that's going to be fees, court costs, attorney fees, and the amount of interest that it ballooned up. And depending on the state that you live in, they're going to also be able to add interest every month until that garnishment is paid. These are the circumstances that, consequences that you will be accepting if you don't, number one, respond to the debt collection letter appropriately. If you don't respond to the court summons appropriately. Or if you don't respond to it at all, which is what most people are doing, because they're like, well, they're going to have to hunt me down. They don't know where I work at. They don't know my bank accounts. Well, I believe that this is what this individual thought, is that they don't know where my bank account is, so it doesn't matter. They're not going to be able to find me, all of that stuff. Well, in this other page that came with the court documents, this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. This is validation of what they're doing. I can't show this exactly because I don't want to, some of the banks will show where this individual lives at. But let me tell you what they did. So some people say, how do they find people? How do they find your bank? They don't know where I'm banking at. This is what they did. In this execution, this writ of garnishment, this execution for the amount of this that they want to garnish. Guess what they did? They sent this document to every bank in this person's city. Every bank got a copy of this. So if he doesn't bank there, that means that they don't care about it. But at one of those banks, you better believe they're going to be like, oh, yes, we have an account for this person. We do have an account there. And we have to go by this court order. And that's exactly what happened. So they send it out to every bank. All it takes is a postage stamp, send it out to every bank. And guess what the bank manager does at those banks, those branch managers? They look and they say, oh, this is a court order. We don't want to be in violation of a court order. This individual has an account. Freeze it and send the money to that debt collector. How much do they got to do? Do they have to send? Okay, they got to send all of it. Send whatever's in the account, they're going to send it all. If it's not enough in the account, they're going to wait till the paycheck is deposited, because that paychecks are almost all direct deposited now. As soon as it hits there, it's going to go out. Now, I have these YouTube people that'll make some comments and they'll be like, hey, well, I'll just take my money out of this account and run over to this one and open up another account over here, open up one over here, open up one over here. Now, let me tell you something that you may not be aware of. And this is where the court kind of has you, and I had even ran into this when I was going through my situation. If you get a judgment against you, anything that you do 6 months prior to the judgment can be clawed back. That means that if you open an account at another bank, they can go and get that money. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of people that used to try to do that with bankruptcy, and they had changed the laws. A lot of people would say, okay, I'm going to file bankruptcy, and then they would move assets to a relative or do all types of stuff. And they were like, and now I didn't do that. What I did is I had just, when I was going through my stuff, I had just moved it to another account. But they were like, no, you can't do that. Once the judgment hits, see, they know, they have the laws written to protect against this. So anything that was done 6 months prior can be clawed back. That means that if you had your money in one account and you moved it to another account within that 6 months period, it can get clawed back. If you use that money and you used it to start a business, it can be clawed back. All types of stuff can happen. I think that the difference between my company and other people who are doing this, even attorneys that are out there doing this, is that they don't really dig into what can happen. That's why a lot of attorneys try to push you to file bankruptcy, to settle and all that, because they don't want to get into this deep, dirty stuff. Because this is how they play. This is the game that they play. And it can be a lot of back and forth. And sometimes people are not willing to do that. But if you understand and know how to challenge them from the beginning, there is very little that you would ever have to do other than raise your hand and say that you're that person. That's if it gets to a court, to where they sue you in court. But if you do everything the right way from the beginning, it may not even get to that. But even if it gets to that, if you understand how you challenge them, then they will be the one that's on the defensive, not you. They want to have everything pointed at you. But if you have a default judgment, they can claw back as far as 6 months on anything that you've done. Personal, if you have a piece of property and you transfer it into someone else's name, they can claw that back. That's what they call it. They call it claw it back. Claw it back. That's what they call it. So we've established that you do not want to suffer the consequences of, number one, not responding appropriately to a debt collection demand letter. The number one consequence for not responding to a debt collection letter appropriately is that they get to put that information on your credit reports. When they put that information on your credit reports, they're going to put a balance on there. So that means that by responding the right way to it, you could have avoided having a balance put on your credit reports, having a collection put on your credit reports, and having a debt collector's name put on your credit reports. What would that be valuable enough to you to even get the information to be able to do it? Because a lot of people, for some reason, just stay paralyzed and say, I'm not going to do nothing, because they're just like afraid of investing in themselves. Because when you do stuff, you are investing in yourself. If you get with the right company, you are investing with yourself. If you get the right company, you're going to have a team that's going to be fighting with you, that's going to give you the information, that's going to be able to help you be able to get over those hurdles, because there's nothing is going to be easy. I don't care what anybody tells you. Nothing that you do in life is going to be easy, but what makes it start to seem easy is because you're doing it. And when you do something over and over and over again, it gets to be easy because you understand what you need to do. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to respond appropriately to any debt collection letter that is sent to you. Now, I'm going to give you a solution. There's a website that's right under me right now. You can go to summersmaster.com and you can just put your debt collection letter, just take a picture of it, make it a PDF or leave it a JPEG. It's just one document. Upload that and it's going to scan your document according to the way that debt collector came at you. This is the difference. This is not a template. I want to make this clear. This is not a template. It's not something that you're going to have to type anything in. What you're going to do is you're going to put the document into Summons Master, and it's going to scan your document using neural language processing. Natural language processing. Neural is the brain. But natural language processing, which is the letter was created by the debt collector using their brain. So, natural language processing to scan your document. Scan your document is going to put together the appropriate debt validation response letter. And then what you're going to do with that letter, you're going to print it out, you're going to sign it, and then you're going to date it, and then you're going to send that to the debt collector, certified mail. And in most of the situations, they're going to stop all collection activities coming after you. Now, if you have a court summons, not a default judgment, I'll speak on that in a second. If you have a court summons, they're coming at you from the beginning. Remember what I talked about. We don't want to suffer those consequences. Depending on the amount of your court summons, you can also upload that into Summons Master. When you upload that into Summons Master, using natural language process, it's going to go through your court summons, specific allegations against you, and it's going to put together a defense based off of the documents that they submitted to help you win your case. What would that be worth to you? What would it be worth to you to, number one, not have to have a garnishment order? Number one, not have a judgment against you that can last for up to 20 years. A judgment can last for 20 years. What would it be worth to you to not have that debt? Let's just say that you're being sued for $5,000. And Summons Master, the pricing is based on the amount of debt that you're being sued for. And the reason why on that is because the higher the suit, the more information they will usually put in those lawsuits. They'll, want to put more work, because if they're coming after you for a smaller amount, they're not going to have to beef up their case as much as they would for a case that they're coming after you for a larger amount. So, but let's just use my example. If you're being sued for $5,000, for the price of $149.95, you can actually get your summons response to all allegations and a defense to win your case. So you're looking at, number one, this is what I want you to think about. Got something flew into my eye here. This is what I want you to think about. If you do nothing, or you go to court and you know nothing and you don't have anything to say, this is what you would have, where your document would do all the speaking for you. All you have to do is raise your hand and say that you're that person. And then the document will do everything for you. It's written for you. So if you're thinking you can just go to court and just say, I don't know, just deny everything, that's not going to work. You're going to walk right out of there with a judgment. But think about it this way. If you walk into court, you have a document, it's already been submitted to the court, and the plaintiff attorney has that information in hand, and they're like, okay, we don't have the answers to these. And from the results that we've been able to get for our clients is that they've had their cases either dismissed before they walked in. So they called their name and they said, hey, your case is dismissed. Or it was dismissed early, even before the court date, because the plaintiff attorney and the debt collection company, they don't expect you to be able to respond to them that way. Number one, it's not templates. They're used to people with templates. They're like, what? This is like they just went on ChatGPT and did something. This is not ChatGPT. This is something that has worked in cases. That's the difference. This is experience. You're paying for experience. You're paying for, is there something that can actually help me in court where it's going to make it easier for me, where I don't have to learn anything because I'm busy taking care of my family. I'm busy working. I don't need to sit there and learn something. I don't need to go and type something out. I don't want to do any of that. All I want to do is have something speak for me in court. That's exactly what this document will do for you. That's exactly what Summons Master puts together, a complete, fully formatted formatted response to the allegations that are submitted against you, and a defense to win your case based off of the documents that they submitted against you. That's the difference. And then think about the amount. If you can win, you pay $149 to beat a case for $5,000. We've had people who beat cases for upwards of $100,000, and they paid over $1,000 to $2,000 to have their summons put together, their summons response, and their case put together. And you better bet, instead of paying $100,000, they paid $2,000 instead of paying $100,000. $2,000 instead of paying $100,000, because they would have been able to come after them with a garnishment on all bank accounts, garnishment on all wages, personal property for up to 20 years. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you don't think your life is going to get any better over the next 20 years, then, follow what the advice that other people tell you, which is to do nothing, don't respond, deny everything. Because when they get the judgment, or they get the default judgment, they're going to have 20 years to see changes in your life, to go after your money. That's what you're doing. It will, just like this individual, years later, ended up hitting him years later. So now, go to Summons Master. If debt validation, if you're getting those debt, if you got letters from debt collectors, go in there and get your letter scanned and then have it created for you for debt validation letters. And then you send that out certified mail so you have proof that they received it. Next, if you have court summons, go to Summons Master. Make your documents into a PDF, because there's going to be numerous documents. You can go to any place to do it, or you can call us or email us, and then we'll do it for you, because we want to help you. We want to help you. We'll provide that service to you at no additional charge. You upload your documents, you pay for it, and then you get to download that. This is complete. You don't do anything but sign. Some people who have contacted me, they thought that it was like a seminar. You're going to go to some seminar to learn how to respond to debt collection lawsuits. No, this is no seminar. No, this is no workshop. No, you don't have to learn anything. No, you don't have to do anything other than sign. If you cannot sign and date your name, you cannot use Summons Master. If you're not willing to do that, if you're that lazy to where you can have something created for you that can help you win your case, and all you have to do is sign it. You don't have to format it. You don't have to put it on another document and do some other stuff to it. No, you don't have to do anything. This will help you win your case. If you cannot sign and date it and take it to the courthouse, I don't know what else could be done for you. I don't know. There is no Uber that's coming to pick up a court document and take it and file it at the courthouse. It just doesn't, that doesn't exist, at least right now. Maybe somebody's thinking about it. So go to summonsmaster.com. Go to summonsmaster.com. And if you have a default judgment, go to summonsmaster.com, hit the contact us button on there, and then you can get in touch with us. We can have a consultation and let you know what you can do. If you have a default judgment, we can actually help you get the default judgment reversed and get your money back if you've paid out any garnishment payments, or if you've if they came and raided your bank account. We can get all of that money back for you. So just think, if you like this individual, you got upwards of $5,000 coming out of your account, and they're coming to get more, and then you pay for a service that gets all of that back and gets the judgment wiped off. And then it's up to them, the plaintiff, if they want to bring that case back. And then we can help you if they decide to bring the case back. So it's not one of these things where it was something that was created, just off of a whim. This is stuff that we've been helping people do for the last 5 years. And it's just the demand is so high. I had my knowledge put into this application. And no, you can't get this on ChatGPT. No, you can't get this on any other AI platform. No, you cannot. It's only available there. So thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com and creator and founder of summonsmaster.com. If you need help with your credit, please visit thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch video What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my two-phase settlement process. If you need your credit report scores, go to the website your3scores.com. Got your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, go to summonsmaster.com. Get those debt validation letters scanned and created and send those out. You can stop all of the pain and the consequences that can happen from you not responding. Subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments. It's Stephen A. Williams. Thank you for your time.